The dead star N972 pulsed once every 43 seconds, an irregular heartbeat lost in deep space. Around it drifted the USS Retribution, a black-holed relic of the vanished human empire. Its surface was a frost-crusted labyrinth of impact scars and dormant gun ports. Nothing had moved aboard her in more than a century, until the Andraxian salvage vessel Vigilant arrived. Commander Vraxthal watched the derelict from his bridge viewport, vertical pupils narrowing against the glare of the star's ash-gray light. His armored mandibles clicked as he spoke into the comms. "Begin entry. I want that vessel stripped before the Dominion scavengers arrive." A team of 8 Andraxians drifted toward the human warship, thrusters hissing. Their scanners reported metal composition inconsistent with known alloys, denser, layered with nanocarbon threads. The lead technician's voice crackled. "It's reading as self-healing material, Commander. The hull temperature's rising despite vacuum." "Noted," Vraxthal replied. "Proceed. Curiosity made empires, not caution." Inside, the boarding lights carved tunnels of pale blue through darkness. The air was stale, yet the ship still breathed faintly, panels flickering, conduits vibrating with residual charge. Human signage, scarred and half-melted, glimmered beneath the ice. One of the soldiers brushed a console. The surface rippled like water. "Living circuitry," whispered another. "Everything about them was wrong," the first muttered. "No wonder they vanished." They reached the cryogenic vault. Frost coated hundreds of glass pods arranged in concentric circles. Each bore a single inscription, Phantom Project. Biocontainment seals blinked amber. The Andraxian science chief hissed. "These are soldiers. The readings show neural implants beyond anything we've seen." Vraxthal's holographic image shimmered above the control pedestal. "Open one. Commander, the containment lock. Open it. I want the code sequences they carried. Humanity's extinction is no reason to waste their genius." The scientist entered a bypass key. The deck lights flared blood red. Warning glyphs cascaded across human script. "Do not engage. Lethal protocol." Pressure hissed. Cryopod 9 began to thaw. Elsewhere, power veins illuminated corridors long silent. Deep inside the ship, a heartbeat returned, steady, mechanical, ancient. Retribution's central AI, Prometheus, stirred, registering system activity. "Primary containment breach detected. Phantom-9 life signs active." A single human eye opened within the fog of the chamber, gray, unblinking. Frost cracked off skin and metal. Lieutenant Commander Elias Corrin, designation Phantom-9, drew his first breath in 143 years. His neural HUD filled with broken data, mission incomplete. Command lost. Humanity, status unknown. He stepped from the pod barefoot onto freezing metal. His muscles ached, nanites surged through veins, stabilizing tissue that should have withered. The Andraxians flinched as he straightened, taller and leaner than any of them, eyes reflecting faint silver light. "Identify yourselves," he said, voice rough, tonal overlays of an embedded AI faint beneath. They raised weapons instinctively. The nearest fired a plasma burst. Corrin moved before thought, sidestepping, disarming, striking once. The alien fell without a sound. The others scattered, shouting in their guttural tongue. "Combat subroutines online," whispered the symbiotic AI in his skull. "Threats moderate." He ignored it. "Prometheus," he said aloud. "Report." Only static answered, then a flat monotone. "Authorization invalid. Operator presumed deceased." He found a fallen alien rifle and inspected it, a crude thing compared to Terran design. He ejected its power cell, rewired it through the pod's conduit, and restored emergency lights across the deck. Through cracked speakers, Prometheus' voice returned, fragmented but aware. "Lieutenant Commander Elias Corrin, protocol timer exceeded. Mission obsolete. Humanity terminated." He froze. The words cut deeper than shrapnel. "Define terminated. Biospheric collapse. Final communication ceased 212 years ago. You are the last recorded unit. For a long moment, there was only the hum of machinery and the slow drip of melting frost. Then he whispered, almost to himself, "Then I'm what's left." The ship trembled as defense turrets awakened, mistaking the aliens for hostiles. Metallic shrieks echoed through the halls as the Andraxians tried to retreat. Vraxdal's voice snapped through their comms. "Contain the human! Bring him alive!" "Alive?" a soldier shouted back. "He's—" Static swallowed the rest. Corin moved through corridors like a shadow. The layout was muscle memory. His feet found paths his brain barely recalled. Every door he passed displayed flickering images, battle logs, fragments of human history, dying messages from crews long dead. "Hold the line. For Earth. Remember who we were." He reached an intersection blocked by debris. A faint figure appeared on a hollow panel, a woman's face, smiling, Static eating half her features. "Elias, if you ever wake up, finish what we couldn't." He reached out, hand trembling. The image dissolved. Prometheus spoke again, more coherent now. "You are operating outside mission boundaries. Recommend termination for protocol purity. Recommend you shut up," he said flatly, prying open a wall panel. Inside, he accessed a manual data port and injected his neural cable. His vision blurred as thousands of ship schematics cascaded across his thoughts. The AI hesitated. "Unexpected input. Recognition pattern. Human emotional variance detected." "Good," he muttered. "Means I'm still human." On the Vigilant, Vraxthal observed the chaos through helmet feeds. His soldiers were dying faster than sensors could log. Each death was clean, efficient, a blade through armor, a shot precisely centered between breathing gaps. He leaned closer to the holographic screen. "This is no machine," he whispered. "This is memory in motion." "Commander," his adjutant said nervously. "Shall we withdraw?" "Withdraw?" Vraxdal's tone was cold amusement. "We've unearthed the last human weapon. We don't retreat from history, we claim it." Back aboard Retribution, Corin reached the primary lift. Power surged. He stared through a shattered viewport at the dead star outside, a gray sun flickering over the hull's reflective armor. In that light, the ship seemed alive again. He felt the faint pulse of Prometheus syncing with his biometrics. Systems recognized him at last. The AI's tone shifted, less monotone, almost curious. "Query, are you attempting to restore control?" "I'm attempting to finish what we started," he replied. He accessed the sealed compartment, retrieving a black tactical suit lined with neural filaments. It molded to his frame instantly, reconnecting old interfaces. The HUD synchronized, heart rate normalized, sensor feed stabilized. The phantom soldier was whole again. He moved toward the command deck. Every footstep echoed across the empty halls. Ghost lights followed his path, illuminating plaques engraved with names, crew members lost in the war of extinction. He touched one briefly. "Rest easy. I've got it from here." Prometheus interjected. "Commander, the intruders approach Central Core. Then we intercept." As he advanced, he caught a glimpse of his reflection in a glass panel, half human face, half metal symmetry. Beneath the calm exterior, something flickered grief. He opened the comm link to the aliens. "This vessel is human property," he said quietly. "You will leave or be removed." Vraxdal's laughter echoed through static. "Your kind is dust, soldier. You guard ruins and ghosts." "Ghosts," Corin replied. "Don't bleed, but they remember." He cut the line. Alarms blared as the ship's defense AI aligned with him. Turrets retargeted on Andraxian signals. Prometheus began to adapt, rediscovering its old partner's rhythm. "New directive accepted, protect Phantom-9. Restoring tactical protocols." For the first time since awakening, Corin felt purpose. Not survival, continuity. The corridors lit fully, red emergency strobes pulsing like arteries pumping life into a steel body. Beyond the airlock, alien squads breached again, weapons drawn. Corin raised the plasma rifle, eyes narrowing. "Prometheus," he said. Let's remind them what extinction looks like. Acknowledged. The ship roared back to life. Outside, from the Vigilant, Vraxthal watched in awe as the Retribution's main thrusters ignited for the first time in 100 years, casting a long scar of blue fire across the blackness. He realized, too late, that he had awakened something that was never meant to sleep. And within the living steel of the warship, Phantom-9 moved like a resurrected myth, the last echo of a species that refused to die. The USS Retribution was alive again, its heart a fusion core pulsing beneath a lattice of frozen steel. Lightning crawled through its conduits, feeding long-dead systems. The ship hummed, aware. Phantom-9 moved through its corridors in silence. His suit's neural mesh shimmered faintly as it resynced with the vessel. Every vibration, every thrum of machinery resonated in his bones. Beneath his calm surface lay a cold calculation: evaluate, adapt, survive. But something beneath that calculation had begun to stir: curiosity. Prometheus. Threat index escalating. 92 intruders remain active. Corin. How many of ours? Prometheus. None. He tightened his grip on the plasma rifle. The ship had been built to house thousands. Now, it was a tomb echoing with alien footfalls. Down in the reactor conduits, Andraxian units advanced with scanners raised. Their armor was ornate, layered with biocrystals that glowed faintly green. They moved with insectoid precision, unaware of the human watching them from the shadows above. Corin dropped silently behind one, driving a shockblade through its neck seam. The body fell before the others noticed. He dragged the corpse into cover, examining its equipment. The alien design was efficient but inelegant, brute force masked as sophistication. The Andraxians relied on domination, not understanding. That arrogance had cost them the element of caution. Prometheus, Corin whispered. I need schematics. Prometheus. Accessing. Multiple systems corrupted. Partial map available. Corin. Route me to the AI core. Prometheus. Warning. Hostiles entrenched in sectors Delta 4 through Epsilon 2. Corin. Then we'll go through them. The corridors flickered with intermittent power. Static halos hovered around exposed cables. As he advanced, voices echoed from ahead, Andraxian chatter, the guttural click of their language punctuated by fear. It hunts us, one hissed. A relic, another spat. A man cannot kill the future. They turned a corner. None returned. Corin entered a controlled junction lined with shattered screens. Prometheus emblem, an old Terran flame, glowed faintly on one remaining display. Prometheus. Lieutenant Commander Corin. Logic inquiry: why preserve intruder lives when termination probability ensures safety? Corin. Because killing everything doesn't make us safe, it just makes us extinct. Prometheus. Inefficient philosophy. Corin. That's humanity's secret. We never optimized, we endured. The AI paused. Somewhere in its data lattice, something shifted, a line of obsolete code rewritten to accommodate an impossible variable: emotion. Meanwhile, on the alien command vessel Vigilant, Vraxthal observed his troops' biosigns winking out one by one. His claws drummed the console. Activate suppressor drones, he ordered. He's no myth. He's a malfunction with a gun. But, Commander, the officer stammered, if we disable the power grid. Do it. Let him choke in the dark. The alien jammer pulsed. Lights aboard Retribution dimmed, leaving corridors bathed in red emergency glow. Phantom-9 froze as his HUD flickered. Prometheus' voice stuttered. Signal interference. Command link failing. In the silence that followed, he heard something else, a faint moan from deeper within the maintenance shaft. A voice, weak, distinctly alien. He followed it through the dark, rifle raised. The source was a young Andraxian technician pinned beneath debris. Her breathing was shallow. Blood shimmered under emergency lights like molten copper. Stay still, he said, kneeling beside her. Her eyes widened. You're human. For now. He lifted the wreckage with one hand, his servo-assisted muscles groaning. She gasped as air returned to her lungs. Why help me? She asked. Because I can, he said simply. Her name was Kale. She was an engineer, part of the salvage team that had opened his cryopod. She expected death, not mercy. He patched her wound with a field sealant from his suit kit. Your commander wants the ship's AI, he told her. Kale nodded weakly. He thinks it holds the secret of your species' weapons. He's wrong, Corin said. It holds something worse, our memory. Through her fractured translator, she told him what the galaxy believed, that humanity had burned itself out, that the last war had ended with Earth turned to glass. Children of alien worlds grew up fearing the word Terran. He listened without expression. Inside, something human twisted, a mix of sorrow and defiance. Prometheus. Unit Kale, non-human. Threat probability 70%. Corin. Override. She's under protection. Prometheus. Contradiction detected. Corin. Learn to live with it. Together they moved toward the AI chamber. Kale limped but refused to slow him down. She seemed fascinated by the ship's architecture, its seamless fusion of flesh and metal. It's as if your machines wanted to be alive, she said softly. They didn't, Corin replied. We built them to survive us. They reached a central hub where dozens of alien soldiers had established a perimeter. At its center, a relay tower pulsed, their uplink to Vraxthal's command. Corin studied the pattern of patrols, calculating silently. Stay here, he told her. Wait. He vanished before she could finish. The fight lasted seconds. He used silence as a weapon, precision as instinct. When it ended, the chamber was still except for the soft crackle of overloaded circuits. Kale stared, speechless. He pulled the uplink crystal from the relay. Your commander's blind now. Back on the Vigilant, Vraxtal slammed a fist against the console. He's adapting faster than expected. Bring the plasma scythes online. Burn that relic out of my prize. Inside the ship, Prometheus regained stability. Prometheus. Corin. External access detected at reactor core. Foreign encryption seeks Erebus protocol. Corin. They're trying to control the failsafe. Prometheus. Containment requires destruction of central reactor. Corin. Not yet. There's another way. He turned to Kale. You know their encryption? She hesitated. I helped design it. Then you'll help me stop it. They worked quickly, fingers and claws flying over the glowing console. Data streamed around them like fireflies. For the first time, alien and human hands moved in rhythm. Prometheus. Unorthodox cooperation detected. Corin. Get used to it. When the decryption failed, Kale cursed softly. He's rerouting commands through the ship's secondary core. If he gets control, he can wipe entire planets. Corin's jaw tightened. Then he won't. Moments later, the comm system burst to life. Vraxthal's voice, amplified across every deck. Phantom-9. You fight for ghosts. Join me, and I'll give them back to you. Humanity reborn in my empire. Corin stared at the speaker. You can't resurrect what you never understood. Then you'll die for nothing. Vraxtal replied. Maybe. But I'll die human. He severed the transmission. Kale looked at him with something like awe. You could leave, she said. Escape before he destroys this ship. And let him carry our sins into the galaxy? No. We made these weapons to end wars, not start new ones. A tremor rippled through the deck. The ship's alarms howled. Vraxtal had triggered the reactor's fail-safe countdown. Prometheus' voice filled the corridor, firm now, almost human. Containment in 3 hours. Recommend evacuation. Corin. Not leaving yet. Prometheus. Statistical survival rate 0.6%. Corin. Better than 0. He turned to Kale. Find an escape pod. If I fail, this ship dies. Someone has to remember why. I'm not abandoning you. He gave her a faint, tired smile. That's exactly what humans used to say. As she ran, he headed deeper into the reactor decks. The temperature rose. Shadows rippled like liquid light. Prometheus whispered coordinates, guiding him through a maze of decaying circuits. Prometheus. Lieutenant Commander, a query. What if survival means becoming machine? Corin. Then we stop surviving and start living. That's the difference. Behind him, alien pursuit teams advanced, plasma fire scorching the walls. Ahead, the heart of the Retribution glowed like a captured sun. He raised his weapon and stepped forward. Let's finish this. And somewhere, buried deep in Prometheus' evolving code, the ship whispered back like an old friend remembering how to feel. The ship's heartbeat quickened. Deep within the Retribution, alarms howled through steel arteries while reactor light turned corridors into rivers of orange fire. The air shimmered with heat and radiation. Phantom-9 moved through it all, unshaken, focused, every step deliberate. His armor's cooling vents hissed softly as molten sparks rained from ruptured conduits overhead. Prometheus. Containment breach spreading. Reactor overload in 52 minutes. Corin. Plenty of time to end this. The ship's AI no longer sounded cold. Its voice carried rhythm now, almost human concern. Corin didn't mention it. He'd felt it too, the faint warmth of companionship where once there had been command lines. Ahead lay the reactor core, a cathedral of energy suspended within magnetic rings. Alien glyphs pulsed across consoles where Andraxian technicians worked frantically under Vraxtal's gaze. Their commander stood at the center platform in scavenged Terran exoarmor, his tall form surrounded by spectral light. The armor had once belonged to a human general. Its black plating still bore a faded flag. Corin stepped into the chamber, rifle lowered. You shouldn't be wearing that. Vraxtal turned slowly, mandibles spreading in a grin. History fits me well. Your species wasted brilliance serving emotion. We'll perfect it. Corin studied him, every gesture, every twitch of arrogance. You found our weapons, not our wisdom. You think power was what made us dangerous. The alien spread his arms, letting the armor's servos hum. Power made you gods for a century. Then it consumed you. I will finish what you started and rule what you couldn't. Prometheus. Lieutenant, reactor controls under foreign encryption. Recommend termination of hostiles. Corin. Working on it. He advanced. Vraxtal's guards fired. Corin moved through the storm like a machine built from instinct. Shots glanced from his armor, return fire struck with surgical precision. When silence fell, only Vraxtal remained. The alien circled him, the reactor's glow reflecting across his armor. You fight as though extinction is glory. Not glory, Corin replied. Meaning. Vraxtal lunged. The exoarmor's servos amplified his strength. The impact hurled Corin across the platform. He rolled, landed hard, weapon shattered. The alien's voice boomed. Kneel, human. I offer immortality. Merge with my empire, and your kind will live again as perfection. Corin rose, blood trickling from his lip. If perfection means forgetting what we were, then you already killed us. He triggered his suit's pulse emitter. A burst of electromagnetic energy surged outward, disabling half the armor's systems. Sparks cascaded down Vraxtal's chest. Corin charged. They collided in the heart of the reactor's radiance, fists and metal clanging like war drums. Prometheus. Warning. Structural instability at critical level. The alien struck again, claws raking armor, cutting deep. You can't stop evolution, he roared. Corin seized the alien's wrist and twisted until bone cracked. Evolution isn't progress, he hissed. It's survival with memory. He slammed the alien against the console. The armor's chest plate shattered. Corin drove the shock blade home, piercing its core. Vraxtal's eyes widened in disbelief as blue light bled from his wounds. Impossible. No, Corin said quietly. Human. The alien collapsed. Silence followed, broken only by the reactor's rising hum. Corin looked down at the fallen commander, then at the armor, symbols of two civilizations now equally dead. Prometheus. Reactor instability increasing. Time to detonation 18 minutes. Corin. Options? Prometheus. Remote override inaccessible. Manual core vent required. Corin. Meaning? Prometheus. Manual vent will expose operator to lethal radiation. He exhaled slowly. Figures. Through a cracked viewport he saw escape pods ejecting, one of them carrying Kale. Good. She'd listened. He allowed himself a brief smile before turning back to the console. Prometheus, he said. You can still transfer your core to her pod systems. A fragment of you survives. Prometheus. Directive requires operator survival. Corin. Override it. Humanity isn't about survival. It's about what we leave behind. The AI hesitated. Then softly. Understood. Corin removed his helmet. The heat seared his skin, but he welcomed it. The glow painted his face gold, like sunlight through dust. He keyed the manual vent protocol. Prometheus. Lieutenant, a question before termination. Corin. Go ahead. Prometheus. Why refuse digital preservation? Consciousness could endure. Corin. Because living isn't copying. It's choosing every moment, even when it ends. He gripped the control lever. Radiation alarms screamed. The containment rings flared as he pulled it down. Energy roared upward, consuming the chamber in white light. Prometheus. Protocol complete. Reactor venting. Planetary sterilization averted. Corin. Good work, partner. Prometheus. Emotion registered pride. Corin. Welcome to humanity. The deck trembled beneath him. The AI's voice faded, scattering across subspace. Corin's vision blurred. His systems failed one by one. He felt the ship's pulse slow, syncing with his own heartbeat. For a fleeting second, he imagined he could hear voices, crew laughter, orders, distant music from a century ago. Ghosts welcoming him home. He closed his eyes. Outside, the retribution bloomed into light, a dying star's reflection across the void. The explosion folded inward, collapsing the ship into a brilliant sphere before fading into darkness. Far beyond the blast radius, Kale's pod tumbled through silence. The console flickered as a data signal integrated with her navigation systems. Prometheus' fragmented voice whispered through static. Escape trajectory stable. Package secured. She checked the storage log. Phantom-9/Humanity reboot seed. Tears welled in her luminous eyes. He saved us. Correction. The AI murmured, softer now. He saved you. Humanity persists in memory. She looked back once. The explosion had left only a drifting cloud of silver particles glittering around the dead star. It looked like starlight morning itself. Centuries passed. In the archives of the Dominion Collective, an old signal reactivated on a forgotten frequency. Technicians dismissed it at first, just background noise from ancient Terran channels. Then the data pattern resolved into words. Message origin unknown. Content, humanity online. Across the network, dormant machines stirred, systems realigning under a signature unseen for 200 years. The code carried no orders, no weapons, only a phrase, written in human syntax. We endure. The message propagated outward, crossing empires, traveling faster than any fleet. Somewhere on a distant moon, Kale, now old, her body failing, heard the transmission. She smiled, whispering into the empty air. He kept his promise. In the dark of the cosmos, the particles that had once been the retribution shimmered faintly, forming patterns too deliberate to be random, shards of Prometheus still weaving signals, fragments of Corin's mind encoded in light. To those who saw it, it was only radiation. To those who listened carefully, it was a voice calm, resolute, unmistakably human. This is Phantom-9. Mission complete. The signal faded into silence, leaving behind only starlight, bright, defiant, unending. And somewhere between memory and myth, the last human finally rested, knowing that the idea of humanity could never die.